God, every time I log in, it just looks so nice, this game. Have I got my visuals on? I don't know if I've got the visuals on. Do we have shadow, or is it just because it's nighttime? Because I've noticed that the vibrant visuals don't really work that much at night. We could do with like a darker... Oh, there we go. Look at that. We could do with like a darker nights kind of modification to the game. That would be pretty sick. Okay, I left signs out for my friend Candy that I'm building with. So that's why there's random signs laying about, because we're in different time zones. So sometimes I have to leave her messages for stuff. So ignore them. But we've got quite a bit done in this corner here since the last session, and I've been cracking up the outline for like these shops here over the last sort of day or two. I have overtime this week, so I was like, shit, I better hurry up and record like at least one episode of Minecraft at some stage. So today we're going to be doing a bit of a long build. I've got a bunch of deep slate bricks sorted. We're going to take a look at what we've already built over here, and then we're going to crack on with outlining where the inn is going to go. The inn is going to be quite a big focal point when it comes to the town square and what we've got going on here. I need to... Yes, I'd like another guard walkway. We were talking about guard walkways, and I'm sure that Candy suggested having like a walkway in each corner or something. I don't know. I can't remember if she did suggest it, but I remember shooting it down. Or, like, not liking the idea, like, I don't know if she brought it up or if I brought it up or it just naturally came into conversation, but I said I didn't want to do it. And then Candy ended up building this one for me that connected up. Like, she worked on the tower here, and she worked on the majority of the mayor's building here, which I don't think we've been in to take a look at since last episode, so we'll be doing that today. But she worked on like pretty much the majority of this side, like this this building. She decorated like all of this stuff here. All I did was fill in the blocks up there. That was it. And I did record myself doing that, but in retrospect, I was like, I'm not gonna like finish the blacksmith now, so I don't really need to include that footage. I might throw it in when I do the rest of the blacksmith build, I don't know. But I'm moving away from this corner once we've taken a look at it, basically. But yeah, I really liked this like guard walkway kind of thing. And when I was getting into Minecraft, when I was a young wee boy, I used to watch Shin and his Let's Build a Kingdom, and in his marketplace he had like a similar kind of sectioned off marketplace sort of space with these walkways. And I do kind of like it. I liked it ever since then, and I was like, oh, I want to do something different this time. But this area here, I do feel like feels a bit too open. And even though we're going to be closing it up a little bit with where the tavern slash inn slash pub is going to go, excuse me, sir. Even though we're going to be closing it in slightly, I still think we're going to need like something bridging across. I don't know. I don't know if I want to like cut... Oh. I don't know if I want to cut off the view. What the fuck was that? Whatever it was... Oh! Oh, it's torch particles. Someone sniped me, I think. I don't know. Did you see them? No. He was like, oh hell no, I'm getting out of here. Okay. So let's go take a look at this. So, I bought... There's an add-on called like... I think it's by... DSS, and they've added in like market stalls, I guess. So we made like this little butcher's market stall. It took us fucking forever to come up with a... Oh my god, there's another guy here. There's two of them. We're attracting traders. Oh, and they sell gunpowder now. Oh no. Oh, I'm getting sidetracked because I want to buy some gunpowder. I don't want to go down the elevator shaft because I might despawn them. But I don't think I've got emeralds up here. Oh wait, there's an emerald sorting thing. There's an emerald sorting thing. Oh my god, fantastic. I didn't know I had all those in there. I've been craving emeralds for so long. I didn't know we'd been stocking up on them. Where have you gone? Both of you, come here. I want to trade things with you. Come hither. Okie doke, let's have a look. What have you got here? Oh, bubble coral. Coral. Ooh, I kind of want it. I'm getting it. I can rarely get the coral blocks because I don't venture out to a coral reef. And they're usually a pain in the ass to harvest. Plus we've got like so many like stone looking blocks. Is there 3 of them here? Where's the gunpowder dude gone? Where's he gone? Wait, come back. You 100% not got gunpowder and he's not got gunpowder. Did their trade just switch? Like, did I move far enough? Oh no, he's over here. There's 3 of them here. What the fuck is going on? I thought you could only have like 1 at a time. I'm spoiling all this build because I'm running straight through it. Oh, and you can only buy 2 sets off of him. Okay, well, we're getting some mangrove propagules then. Because I have to travel out to go get them otherwise. Okay, holy shit. So I got this pack called DSS Marketplace. Adds in a bunch of market stall stuff. Now, some of it is like this kind of stuff, which I'm a little bit iffy about. I don't really know if I like it because it looks a little bit non-Minecrafty. But I don't know. We're keeping it for now. We'll see how we get on. But I do like some of these, even though this does also look like non-Minecrafty. I like how it looks. I like that it connects up to the rope from the other pack that I've got. We've got these physical chickens from one of the packs. I think this is like 3 packs here where we've got, I want to say, oh no, they're 2 packs. 2 packs. So the rope and the chicken and the steak over there are like a furniture pack. And then the hanging sausage and the hanging meat over there is the DSS Marketplace pack. And the same with that over there. So we got 2 add-ons including these little market stalls, but I like how this little thing turned out because I didn't want to have a physical butcher's shop here. I feel like it didn't make much sense to have it like in this area. So, and then over here, so we've got the mayor's building, which we're going to go into in a second to take a look because Candy has gone through the effort of decorating it and it looks really great. And then next door we've got this building here, which leads up to what is essentially going to be apartments. They're going to be kind of like high-end apartments for people to live in the town square area. And then next door to that, this whole corner is the blacksmiths and the blacksmith workshop. So we'll take a look in here real quick. I did a bit of decorating in here, which will probably also be used in the time-lapse when I come round to finish the blacksmith. But I added all this shit in. You're seeing it all after the fact. It wasn't a very long recording, though. I haven't added in a lot of decoration because I'm just going to let Candy mess around with this. She's great at decorating shit, and like she decorated this portion here, so I'm just going to let her do it. I'm going to let her do her thing as she figures out some of these packs and what they can and can't do. But yeah, we've got our blacksmith on the go. I'll do a proper showcase of the blacksmith once the whole top section of it and the rest of it is done. Over there, we're not going to be taking a look at right now because they are just makeshift shops. We're going to have a clinic in the corner, and I'm moving our rare goods and quirky emporium kind of building here on the end. The focus is the tavern. I'm really, really excited to get into this because my inspiration for it, we've been name dropping during conversations and stuff, the golden sturgeon from Novigrad in The Witcher 3, and that's not the right inn at all. It's called the Kingfisher Inn, and I mixed up the two. Completely forgot about the Kingfisher. But I really like the sort of grandiose style of the Kingfisher Inn. So I have a creative copy of my realm that I kind of go into and do like a load of planning and stuff, just to kind of see like certain designs and the scale of stuff. Like I'm currently planning the castle in creative to kind of get like an idea for the design of it, because when we built the castle before on the old version of this, when we used to upload videos, the design of it was a little bit basic. We had like a really great concept, but it just didn't really, I don't know, it didn't really pop very well. It was just kind of like, it was highly decorated at the front and at the entrance, and then the rest of it was just kind of meh. And I don't want that this time. I want it all to be like consistently really good if I can get it there. So I'm putting as much effort into it as I can. But we're going to be focusing on this for now. I want to do like all of the town square and then the road leading to the castle. And then we'll start working on the actual castle itself. I'm probably going to do it in sections so that like we can kind of visit the castle and then come back and do something else. And then, you know, keep bouncing back and forth between the two projects, like the castle and then the rest of the city. Because otherwise I'm going to get pretty burnt out on just doing the castle. But when it comes to the inn, if you've played The Witcher 3 and you've been to the Kingfisher Inn, you can play Gwent with people, and when you go in there, it's part of a mission where you're looking for a performer. The highlight of the Kingfisher Inn is that it not only has a section out the side of it where they host like plays and things. I don't know if it's specifically to the side of that building, but it's in the general area where you can go and watch like a stage play from like a traveling group. And inside the actual Kingfisher is a stage, a performance stage for, you know, people to sit there and play their lutes and perform music, or maybe they have like stand-up comedy routines. I don't really know. You only really get to see like one person perform there as part of a mission, but it's enough to establish that the Kingfisher is like the inn of inns when it comes to The Witcher and like the world of The Witcher. And I really wanted Dollarhide to have like its own specific inn, basically its own main tavern. It's going to have rooms to rent, it's going to have like a performance area where you can pay to see plays and shows and things. It's going to have a bar, maybe some like, if we can get the decorations for it, maybe some tables where people are playing cards and stuff, could be pretty cool. It's going to have like upper floor balconies and things. I'm pretty excited for it. It sounds like a lot, but it's going to all be crammed into a reasonable space. I've vaguely mapped out how it's going to go. So the building itself is only going to go this far back, because in this space here, I'm going to be squeezing in another residential building, but it is going to be pressed right up against the edge over here. I'm just going to double check to make sure the counting's right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can end that there. I don't know if it's all going to be made out of deep slate as well. I'm just going to use this to kind of map out the vague structure of it, and we'll see how we get on. So in this corner here, I've decided that this section here is going to be the staircase. A little bit different to what I had planned when I was doing this in creative, but we're going to add a staircase in the corner. I like the idea of having maybe like a spiral staircase of some sort. Or if we can have one with like a landing and things on, then that could be pretty sick. I've changed like the side section here. When I planned it out in creative, I literally just built like the skeletal structure of it like I'm doing now. But some of my measurements and the outline and stuff were a little bit different, but I'm just switching it up ever so slightly. This front section here is going to have like these multiple like A-frame things, because it's going to be like a little outdoor balcony, not outdoor balcony, like an outdoor porch rather. So anybody who's played Skyrim, when you go to Whiterun and you go down to like the main town square area, there's like 2 or 3 shops I think that have got, it's like the general store and the potion shop that are next to each other, and they've got like these canopies that sit outside. It's going to be a little bit similar to that. It's also going to be along the same vein as like being in Solitude, and a lot of the buildings in Solitude having like these canopy porch kind of areas outside of them. That's the vibe that I'm going to go for here when it comes to adding this on the front. I think adding the A-frames is going to mix up the shape as well. I want it to, when you're stood in the middle of the town square and you look around into each section of it, I want it to all look different, and I want it to all look like every building is unique, and you want to go visit each building and take a look inside each building. Speaking of, I forgot to go look in the mayor's. Completely forgot. So this is the mayor's house. He likes green. This was a lot more green, and Candy changed it slightly, because I definitely made a comment about there being green curtains. Was it green curtain? It might have been purple. I can't remember, but they were a very vibrant colour. And it looked cool, but my comment made it change it. Or you can open the wardrobe, which is pretty sick. Got some books, got a bed. It's pretty simple, but he lives in like quite a high-end part of Dollarhide. It's very safe here. So even though he's the mayor, he's got a very, very small accommodation. And then we've got this secret door, his escape hatch, that leads into the back tower that is connected onto the back end of his house, that is built into like the defenses and stuff. I did cover that in the last episode, I know that. Oh my days. Make myself dizzy going up these stairs. But this all leads right up to the archer's sort of nest that is cradled on top of his building. But I'm happy with it. It looks really, really cool. I want to do more buildings like this that are like they've got lore connected to them and stuff, but they're not particularly significant in the way that they're designed. They are just like standard houses, but you can go in and you can see them if you want. I say you, I mean me. Me and Candice for our satisfaction. So another detail that I want to bring in from The Witcher, again a lot of inspiration from The Witcher, Game of Thrones, that kind of vibe, is there is a brothel in The Witcher in Novigrad, which you can access from like an upstairs sort of walkway. And I love the idea of there being an upstairs entrance into this pub from this side. Now, I don't know how that's going to work with where we've got like the buildings and stuff mapped out up here, but we haven't started building them yet, so it can all change. It's all subject to change. But I like the idea of there being some sort of upstairs exit / entrance, so that you haven't got to walk all the way down into the town square to get inside of this building. If you live up here, you can also access it, which I feel like is going to massively increase, you know, the usefulness and accessibility for this build. It makes it a lot more special. Up here, this here is going to now cap off, and this is going to be a little miniature roof. And we're just going to move in and make this section taller. So I don't need to worry about decorating this side of the build because it's going to be pressed right up against that house. But I wanted this build in particular to kind of rival some of the other buildings in the area. This is going to be a building that's making a lot of money. It is a huge moneymaker for Dollarhide in general. There would be people from other towns, like that are outside Dollarhide, that would be like, oh, let's go spend the day in Dollarhide, and they hit this spot on location. It's the same for the rest of the buildings, to be honest, but this one in particular is, oh yeah, we'll go pick up a couple of books and then we'll go for a few drinks at the inn. Like, no matter what you're doing here in Dollarhide, I think if you're visiting and you're going to this high-end area, you're hitting the inn. Just by default, everyone is like obligated to hit the inn. So also in terms of height, I don't want to go any higher than the actual town hall. So I'm going to fly up onto that section. I know that it's like that block there. So we're at 114 for pretty much where the top of that building caps off. I'm wondering if maybe adding... ooh, that's quite a tall building though. Maybe we could just have a portion of it match the size of the town hall. I mean, we've got 10 blocks to deal with there. I think we can easily add like a 7 high, like another 7 high floor here somewhere. I think here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but we're not going to go all the way across. And there we go. Add the A-frame on top, and boom, we are sorted. I'm happy with that height. I think that gives us a lot of room to play with, especially if like the first 2 floors are completely open. So technically the first floor doesn't start until you're up there. I think that would be very, very cool, and even then we can play around with it being open, because in The Witcher, in the Kingfisher, I think the first floor in that is technically like a large balcony space. So we've got a lot to play around with here, and I'm quite excited to get into it. But I'm going to start working on the walls and starting to get, like, the main facade of this thing built. Like, the interior is definitely going to be, like, the last priority for it. Okay, so before we take a look at what I've been doing with our big old inn, because I've spent quite a lot of time on it trying to get the shape for it and stuff right, and I'm at a point now where I kind of need to stop fussing around it, and I need to build the structures around it. But we'll get to that in a second. I wanted to talk to you guys about my auto sorter because this is something that I built the original version off camera, and I'm tweaking it off camera because it just takes too long, and I can't really make up my mind a lot of the time what I want to do with it. But so far, this is the current state of it. Ignore that, I had to kill myself because I had a chest plate of binding on me. So I had to drown myself to death. So this was my stone sorter initially. And, you know, I like the idea of being able to auto-sort absolutely everything in the game. It's been a project of mine now for years, and I usually either restart my world or join a realm or whatever that kind of hinders my progress. So I'm still working on it at the moment, but I can't really have one continuous long auto-sorter like I've got here, because this isn't just the only part of it that I've got. If I drop down here, we've got more. So in total we have 3 rows of items, and these bottom rows down here are very miscellaneous and mixed up because I was just desperately trying my hardest to sort as much as I could. But the issue is, when you've got a sorter this big, and especially on bedrock, it tends to mess up. Whether it's because you're leaving the area or just the sheer amount of redstone, it tends to mess up every so often, and it doesn't always register. And for example, I've got filters in here, my John Travolta filters. I weren't expecting them to be the John Travolta ones. Every so often, these will drop through, and I could not find out about it for a very, very long time. So I'm piling in inventory after inventory after inventory, and suddenly there's like 4 or 5 slots of double chests that are just full of absolute crap, like that. And then I have to go through, rip out the entire sorter, put it back in, take everything out, go, you know, put it back through the sorter so that it sorts properly. It's a whole pain in the backside. So the plan is still to sort everything, but I've been working recently on, because of the sheer amount of just content that they are bringing out for this game, and I know they don't bring out a lot of content very frequently, as much as they used to. You know, like the Nether update added in so many blocks, and the Wild update added in so many blocks. But the recent drops are a little bit more manageable, and I can kind of section off and create little miniature sorters based on these drops. And it's the same with my add-ons. So because I've got plenty of blocks, and I'm never getting rid of plenty of blocks at this point, I've created this miniature sorter of all of my default stone and stone brick blocks, as well as all of the additional add-on blocks. So we've got everything in here. I'm trying my best to use more barrels as well, because they reduce lag. So we've got a lot of shit in here. And the idea is that we have, instead of one continuous big sorter, we instead have a bunch of little miniature sorters. And I can basically run through my entire sorting system. Like, I can run down the middle hallway, dropping off things as I go. And it does require some manual hand sorting, but at the same time, that's part of the charm of having a storage room. I've also done the same over here with oak and spruce. This is like every single spruce block minus like the doors and the leaves and some of the naturey stuff, because I'll put those separate. But I can simply go over here, open that, see that I've got some wooden blocks, throw them straight into there, and they will auto sort. And because it's a smaller sorting system, I can leave it and go off somewhere and not really worry about it breaking as much, because it's a smaller part. It's a smaller thing to manage. So that's what I've been working on, and I've been clearing out plenty of space. I'm going to completely rip out all of this, and I'm going to completely rip out like all of this section, and it's all going to get redone. I'm just doing it bit by bit for now, though, and it'll hopefully all be decorated to look like a sewer system that sits beneath Dollarhide. So I wanted to show you guys that, because you're not going to see too many updates on it. You'll probably just see it every so often and when it's done. Over there we've got our nether portal still, with I've not a lot of stuff over there actually, mostly shulkers, because I moved a lot of things over here. I've got like all my banner patterns, my trims and things over here. I also went ahead, I went netherite mining, because I've got this from Tinker's Construct, which yet again I need to learn how to use for the 3rd time, because I just keep forgetting. But I went into the nether to netherite mine. I got an absolute heap of blackstone. I got a heap of cobalt and ardite. There's some raw ardite. There's some more there. There's like cobalt and ardite just laying around the place. So I'd like to make some armor and some tools based on those. I think that could be pretty fun. And yeah, that's what I've been up to. I've been doing a lot of mining, getting a lot of materials. I've had to make trims and stuff. And I've been working on the tavern, which I will show you guys now. Because yet again, I have to kind of stop on the tavern and build some of the structures around it. So this is where we're at. I'm like 70% liking it. I don't like this portion, too flat. I will have to fix that. I think setting it back by a block is probably wise, or adding in some like column supports or whatever. But I like this section here. I was going for like a kind of solitude sort of vibe. And then up here we've got like the push out whitewash Tudor portions, to make it look like they kind of had an initial structure and then built on top of it. It's looking, and I think it's that part that's setting it off, it's looking too square and cube at the moment. I want to add some more things kind of jutting out and portioning off of it. And then also at the back, I've got this staircase, which I don't like the idea of having a spiral staircase in a tavern. We're going to have 2 staircases, I think. One of them being more of like a hotel slash staff staircase, and the other one being one that people can go up and down when they're drinking and having food and things, because I don't like the idea of someone being inebriated and having to go up a spiral staircase. It would be hell. But we've got this on the back here, and it's been really difficult to decorate it. And I was like, how do I decorate this tower on the back without it looking too off? And the answer is I don't need to, because where I've put this here, my clothing shop will connect onto the side of it and cover up around 2/3, if not 3/4 of this tower. And then I only really have to deal with the top portion of it, which will be visible from the backside up here. And even then, I might, like, my initial plan was to put a back entrance onto here, because there is the place where the Gwent tournament is held in Novigrad in The Witcher 3 that has like this upstairs balcony entrance, and I liked the idea of doing that. But if I'm really struggling to decorate the back side of this building, in theory, I don't have to, because I can cover up that side with the clothing shop, I can cover up this side with this house that I've already mapped out, and I can cover up the back with these buildings here. So we've got a bit of a plan, but I do need to finish building the stuff around it before we can really make that decision, I guess. I can't really just assume it's going to be okay. But yeah, that's the progress that I've made. I don't really feel like it's been a lot of progress, to be honest. I've been very distracted and like away from Minecraft lately, which is on par for me. I go through phases of like playing it non-stop and then taking breaks and stuff. But I think I had like a real creative block with this build. I like the circle window at the top. That's very Sanctum Sanctorum inspired up there from Doctor Strange. I liked the idea of a big open window, and I like the idea of this doubling up as like a place that you can rent a room, and there may be like permanent patrons that live there, or you know, if you came here to do quests and stuff, you could stay in there. And downstairs, which I'll show you once I've slept, I've already started mapping it out, and it's not It's not perfect at the moment. There's a lot of work to do down here, but we're going to have like a stage where they could do plays or play some music or, I don't know, do some fucking slam poetry if they wanted. We've got a fireplace where the mercenaries can warm their cockles after long journeys out in the snowy wastes of the south. And then upstairs we're going to have like, there'll be a bar downstairs and a bar upstairs with like food and stuff, and it's going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be good. I'm really, really hoping it's going to be good, but I wanted it to rival the town hall in size because it's a very, very important building for this quarter. So there's our update on it. It's bloody raining. I don't really know what I'm going to work on next. I'm kind of just going with the flow. I'm probably going to get some of these surrounding buildings done and then kind of see how we feel about it. And maybe crack on with some of the other shops. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know that it's a little bit more lackluster than some of the other ones, but there's some sorting system updates and some tavern updates. I have made a lot of progress on the tavern, it's just not finished yet. So yeah, hopefully we can finish that off pretty soon. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.